Welcome to Well, Let's Talk About It, where we discuss our lives, our communities, and the world around us. I'm April.
I'm Danielle.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Tawana.
Let's talk about
Well, let's talk about it.
the things that we all go through. Let's talk about it. Information that we all can use. Let's talk about it.
Today in the studio we have some guests.
How you doing? My name's Steven.
How you doing, DT?
I'm Damon, representing.
You're with Cap. Yeah, we all with Cap.
I hope so.
Today we'll discuss, we'll start off with some things that's going on in the news. Tawana.
Yes, and earlier this week, I know everyone know and everyone want to talk about it. The R. Kelly. R. Kelly was released for outstanding child support and payments of $161,000. For what the news is saying, a second young lady has came up and put this money up and got R. Kelly released from jail.
Wow.
Last week, one young lady paid, was it $100,000?
$100,000
To get him out. And then this week, another young lady has paid $161,000 to get him out. So look like R. Kelly still got some fans.
Yeah, so these are two separate women.
These are two separate
Right.
women.
I really think he's
Or do R. Kelly got some money somewhere we don't know
Right,
about?
right. I think he's hiding it too because he
Yeah.
has back rent, he has back child support, so he's hiding that money so that he doesn't have to pay it.
Right.
And he has, I think, a woman holding his money or his finances,
Right.
and it's like, okay, I need this money, go get this out, of the account that's in your name. That's my money.
Right, but R. Kelly's supporting a lot of people, though. He's supporting a whole lot of people. That'll go through that money real quick.
Yeah.
So what is the problem?
I gotta be honest with you. I actually don't think it's R. Kelly's money. I think he has been irresponsible with his money, and he's probably penniless. Or maybe not penniless, but he probably does not have this money. And I think really it's just a bunch of birds paying for him, because that's what birds do. So, listen, not all birds are poor. Some of them got money, okay? So I'm thinking it's just a bird just
How long R. Kelly been doing this?
been, what, raping babies or?
Oh, Lord.
Like-
His whole life. But how long has he been doing this?
30 years.
How many years has he been doing this?
my life.
He's been making music for 30 years. He's been making hits for the entire 30
Kelly
years.
got some long money.
However,
got long money.
however,
Mhm.
he has been irresponsible with his money for 30 years.
That is true.
Like you see, what is that show, that 30 for 30?
Bro.
Some of these people make millions annually, and they are broke the second they stop paying.
Doesn't
They
matter.
stop playing, or
It's
the
something
second they
different
stop
when-
earning.
But do you think somebody
It's
that's
different. It's different when it comes to a musician who has royalties that
Right.
steadily come in, that do shows.
Exactly.
R. Kelly didn't arrive on the scene, disappear. He's steadily
He
been
stayed consistent
again.
with making hits.
I don't think somebody that's broke is gonna come out
Hold
and say
on.
they're broke.
Before we use broke, his broke again is going to be different than
I
our
was just
broke.
gonna say that, yeah.
He can file chapter, whatever it is for him to protect his assets or whatever.
And liquidate.
Again, he just came off, I think the road before all this stuff popped off, he can get 10,000, 15,000 here and there and
Yeah.
still survive.
And I agree, because I mean, his broke is different from our broke. One thing, he doesn't own his masters, and he spoke about that. I mean, he doesn't own his
that's
masters,
it.
and if you're in the music industry,
Right.
that is a major part
Major
of
part of
it
how
is.
you receive all your money. So
Indeed it
the
is.
fact that he doesn't own that shows he's not
Says
that
a lot.
smart.
No, we don't not that
Right.
smart, but a lot of people in the music industry wasn't that smart.
Just because a lot of people aren't smart doesn't mean that that's the reason he's not broke.
He got money.
He got-
And honestly, the way you say that our broke is different from his broke, my definition of broke is you can't pay your bills, you can't make your ends meet. It doesn't matter if your ends are 30,000 a month. If you can't pay that, you don't have it, and so you're broke.
So it's funny. So he said he owed $160,000 in back child support. So how far back was he? That's $160,000.
They said 8
That's-
months, and he was paying $20,000 a month up to just 8 months
Don't
ago.
they base
So
it on income?
exactly. So again,
Yeah.
the amount of money that actually he has to pay out for child support should determine how much he's actually bringing in per
Right,
year.
exactly.
And
But
if
it does not include how much he's spending on his entourage, how much he's spending on liquor, how much he's paying these children's
these things,
parents to
Oh, no, without a
to
doubt.
pretend that he's not a
Right.
child molester, how much he's
Yeah,
paying
'cause
his
he's broke bread,
gardener,
He's paying off a lot of people, without a doubt.
his HOA,
Yeah.
Yeah.
his monthly clothing allowance.
Whatever.
Just because he makes money doesn't mean he manages that money well.
I got nothing to do about his managing his money. I'm just saying he's still an engine that can generate money, and he's been generating
Oh, yeah,
money.
there's no question
And
about
it's
that.
different when you get paid in cash, and you get, you know.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
the nigga got money. He's hiding his money. I'm sorry, I apologize for using that word. But he has money. He just using these women in order to seem like he's broke.
But I also
he don't
think
want them to come to
it's a
him.
publicity stunt.
And I can care less what happened to him.
You know, again, if you,
Whatever.
I mean, if you look at his moves, yes, a fan paid it. That's because he needs that motivation behind him that people out here believe him.
Right.
Oh, you
Believing
still have
in
mind
him.
control.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He still got mind control over some of these women. Some of these
Oh,
women
yeah.
still are like, he ain't he ain't doing nothing wrong to me. But I mean, it's obvious that something's going on.
Well, he
So-
gets them. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
He gets them so young, though. You know that you're easily manipulated at
Easily.
that age.
Yeah.
Very easily manipulated. So
Without a
coming
doubt.
from 14 or 16, and him being the father figure in your life from then until now. Yes, you're gonna go with it. You're gonna think, oh, he's not doing anything wrong to me. He's feeding me. He's doing this. He's
Right.
clothing me. I have a house. So of course they're not gonna say he's abusing me. You know, they don't know any different. They may feel like, well, this is how it's supposed to be. This is how, you know, he shows me love. This is love. You know.
Did y'all hear what he said when they were doing the interview, the girls? How he was in the background making noises when they would ask certain questions?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
For real?
Manipulation.
Yeah.
What
Right.
if he was there?
He was with Gail
Right.
King, and
Oh,
like he
really?
would cough real loud
Yeah.
for them to know that he was in the area. When she would ask them something, he would cough,
Right.
so
But
they
you know
would know.
You know, one
To,
thing.
you know, before they answer their
Just
question.
shut up.
Yeah.
Shut your
Oh, so
ass
she
up.
interviewed the women too.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
interviewed the
yeah,
women
yeah.
right after him.
Oh,
Because
wow.
they
See, I
said
haven't seen them interviews.
he tried to come and shut that interview down a few times.
He did.
So
Ah.
but,
Wow.
but you got to ask, like, why is this such a major topic right now?
Because a 30-year history of him essentially assaulting and molesting
Kids.
little black girls matters to people who little black girls matter to.
Which again, this is nothing new.
That doesn't mean it doesn't matter.
But it didn't matter then. That's what I.
It mattered
It
then,
always
but
did.
But
they
it's
couldn't
funny,
get justice then.
Right.
But
Times have
Again,
changed, so now it's different.
but why didn't it happen then?
Why
because
didn't
because
that
the culture
That's it.
has changed. Once upon a time, you could marry a 9-year-old. Why can't you marry one now? Because things have changed.
Oh, wow. What the hell?
Said that kind of easy, huh?
Listen, I mean, the truth is true, right? Once upon a time, you could marry children. Once upon a time, you could do these things. Why have things changed? Because they have. So now let's treat the society as what it is now.
Sick regard.
He's sick
Yeah,
regardless. He was sick
if you were
30
married
years.
9-years then,
Oh,
you
he
sick. If
married
you
a
do it
Leah
now,
at
you
age
sick.
15.
It's just,
Right.
but his question
Right.
is why are we seeking justice now?
No,
Because we can.
Not seeking
Because we
justice.
can.
It's not seeking justice now.
Why does it matter?
No. Why? It matters, period. But again, the ploy of it coming up now that certain people start talking, this just didn't happen. That's why I really get upset about us as a community, that this has been allowed to go on for so long. And if we point at R. Kelly, yes, he's guilty as I don't know what, but it's a lot of people who played a role in that to allow this man to continue.
But did we really
Right.
know? Did we really know?
We knew.
The people around him knew, but did we really know? When you listen to R.
Well,
Kelly,
we
you
knew
listen
from
to
Aaliyah.
Jam him, right?
Right.
I didn't. But
You
when
can
he married the 15-year-old Aaliyah, I was like, oh, he nasty. And then when the video came out back in 2002 or 2000, was it 2000 or 2002
Early 2000.
of him molesting
But you
the
didn't
14-year-old?
You
Oh,
still-
indeed, I
when his music
did.
came on, you were still jamming.
Who? You don't speak for me, sir.
Okay, because I did.
I didn't. I didn't. I was a 14-year-old girl when he was
Michael
raping.
Jackson.
When he was raping that 14-year-old girl, I was a 14-year-old girl. and I was a-
Don't bring him up.
Jam, Michael.
Don't bring him up. Don't bring him
There
up.
you
Not
go.
too much.
But
Not
too much.
Just drop the M bomb.
My
So you
music
jamming
will
molester.
taste.
So we both did it. High five. We
My
both
music,
jammed molesters.
I'm not condemning you for it, but I'm just saying,
Nah, you're right.
just ensure that you speak for yourself when you say, oh, you still jamming. Let me tell you something. Step in the Name of Love was not doing it for me. I wasn't stepping.
What?
But
So
ABC wants to know first.
to get back, I think when you dig
He
deep
wasn't raping
into
babies
it,
when he
it's a bigger topic. than just R. Kelly. And again, because again, what I get upset about is other topics. The Catholic Church, other people have molested a lot of things, and you don't see these people on the forefront of getting scolded as one single man. No,
It's not in our community, bro.
You have a point.
It's not in our
You
community.
do have a
Wrong
point.
is wrong.
Wrong is
I'm
wrong.
not. Again, you don't miss what I'm saying. Is that we
can I
put
say
one
that?
single black man in front of the whole world. At the end of the day, I don't see no documentary on this Catholic Church that's made news
so
across.
Let me
They
tell
are,
you
bro.
something.
They are.
Just because you haven't
they
seen
not.
just because you
They're
haven't
not.
seen it, it has everything to do with you choosing not to seek out that information because that information is out there. There are at least
I
two
only got to see R.
documentaries.
Kelly information.
There are at least
Harvey
two documentaries
Well,
out about
you
Harvey
gotta see
Weinstein.
Yeah.
I knew about Michael Jackson when I was a child
Again,
because those
Don't
documentaries
miss
did
what
come
I'm
out.
saying.
Woody Allen.
Don't miss the
Mia
please.
and Ronan Farrow have been
Please.
dragging Woody Allen's ass through the mud since his wife was a
Please don't
child.
miss what I'm saying.
I mean, I hear you.
Please
But
don't miss what
You're
I'm
just
saying.
ignoring the other
On
information.
those
No, I don't
names that
ignore
you-
it because at the end of the day, I'm very. Go ahead, but I'm sorry.
What about Matt
On
Lauer?
those names that you mentioned,
They dragged his ass
Matt
too.
Lauer, they
I
dragged
mean,
Matt
when
Lauer.
you say drag though, are they being
No.
dragged? Like I haven't
Prosecuted.
seen. I haven't seen anything on what that. I know about it, but I haven't seen a documentary on this what actually happened or Harvey Weinstein on this is what he actually did.
Charges.
This is what he messed
Charges.
with.
So
So we get the
right.
details
All
from
over
R.
the
Kelly.
news.
He
Like-
does have a trial coming up. Harvey
Yes, he
Weinstein
does.
does have
He
a trial
does.
coming up. There is a documentary coming out on Harvey Weinstein called Untouchable in 2019. So it is. They do.
Ironically.
They have them.
Yeah.
Indeed.
They do have a little exposure, but I see what Steve is saying. It's not a lot of exposure on these people.
Which has been
See,
going
I
on
did-
for a longer time
Right.
than.
You have to think about the fact that it's current. So Michael Avenatti put out these videos within the past 3 months. Woody Allen married that girl, what, 20 years ago?
Exactly.
But 20 years ago, it was blasted and he
No,
was
but
lambasted in the
don't
media.
not piggyback anything. When you gonna put this man out here, they need to piggyback these stories.
But it's not a race issue.
It's not current.
I think we're bringing race into the situation.
But it
race
doesn't-
has a,
it's not- it's not
I
a
think
race
race
issue.
has a lot to do.
The reason why it doesn't because
he's
wrong
black,
is wrong.
that's why
Whether
it's
what
a
race you are, wrong is still wrong. I don't care if it's white,
I
Chinese, or
understand
black.
And
that, but
furthermore, it's
it's
current.
Right.
His is current,
Right.
theirs is not.
And it's R. Kelly. I mean, how
Right.
many people gonna
And
look up Woody Allen?
Right. Also,
But-
R.
but-
Kelly-
but-
20 years
again-
ago, Woody Allen was dragged through the
yeah,
media.
he keeps
20
doing
years
crazy
ago,
stuff.
there was a story about him daily.
Exactly.
When they started
They
dating
do what
that
they do,
girl,
lay low.
There was a
Right.
story about him in the news every damn day. Just because it was it happened 20 years ago, and 20 years ago he was dragged away. R. Kelly is being dragged today for the news that came out today.
But him and that girl are still together, right?
They're still together.
They're,
So
they're married. Right? Well,
They're-
which
yeah,
one?
they got his stepdaughter.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
Stepdaughter.
married.
That's stepdaughter, yeah.
Sun Yi are.
Su-
Yeah, yeah,
Su-
yeah.
Prim.
Yeah, they're married. They're
When it
married.
comes down to it, I see what you're saying, Steve, and I agree with you to an extent. I don't care. If you do wrong and you get caught, wrong is wrong.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
care if
I
they blow
agree.
you up.
I agree with that
That's
too.
what it is.
Wrong
I
is
agree.
wrong.
And I think that all
Black
of
on
them
white.
will all
I
have
know.
their day.
No, I think
You know, they will
right.
all have their day.
They will.
But like Amanda was saying, right now, R. Kelly is current, right? And so I think that right now, with the R. Kelly situation going on, we also need to place blame in other places, right?
Right.
So there's the parents, there's all
Yes.
of these people who
Yes.
who covered up his actions, all of these managers and yes men who went to the mall scouting for these young girls.
To McDonald's.
These people were not looking for 25-year-olds. They knew
Exactly.
what Robert Kelly wanted.
Exactly.
They picked out what he wanted and brought it to him.
Right.
So we also have to take a look at those people. When are those people going to get indicted? When are those people going to have to answer for what they did? Because yes, R. Kelly is a deviant, he's a predator, he's all of that.
All of that.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
All of
definitely.
and right now, he's answering for it. You know,
Right.
he's
As
being
well as he
made
should.
right. He's uncomfortable, and
As
that's
well
what
as
it
he
takes.
should.
Yeah.
He's uncomfortable,
He
but there are a
crying
whole
interviews.
lot of more people that we need answers from.
But again,
Right.
I just don't want to lose the sight. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I still don't think that he even feels he's wrong. If
Nah,
anything,
yeah, he
that
doesn't.
that-
He doesn't feel
he's
I don't know if y'all heard the
So-
interview from what his brother said. That how his brother was his sister was molesting them when they were
Right,
when they were
right.
small.
He's
But
mentally
Oh,
ill.
it's his sister?
being a
Yeah, I
victim
wanna
doesn't
say
make
that.
you become
Yeah,
a
he's meant-
predator.
She is right. Say again.
Yeah, being a victim doesn't make you become a predator.
No,
Right.
Because if we look at the statistics, if we actually look at the true statistics of how many people are molested, assaulted, or raped before the age of 18, that's not even including the people after. What is it, like 3 out of 5? I'm willing to bet that 3 out of 5 people are not child molesters.
That's why I don't feel
Right.
bad when he gets what he gets.
That's
I don't
it.
feel bad about that.
Tons of people.
But he was
I'm
wrong.
willing to bet at least 2 people in this room were assaulted at some point. Are you a child molester? Because I'm not.
Right.
No.
So own your shit. Just because you've been through shit doesn't mean you have to put other people through shit.
Right.
Oh man, there's no doubt about it.
Right.
To me, it's always a deeper tone that goes along with this. I know that when media puts things out here, but it's funny. I felt like the black community was like, hey man, you been doing this. We ain't surprised.
Yeah.
But when it hits mainstream, not to our audience, but to everybody else's audience, and when people jump on the TV screen, make documentaries, we focus in on one person and we leave everybody else. So questioning, why did this happen? Well, who else? But I can never understand the fact that how somebody's daughter can. And I'm a man. I have a daughter. Like I'm not gonna go find him. I'm not gonna go get my daughter.
That's how I feel.
You know what I'm saying? So again, when the story unfolds, like this ain't about R. Kelly. It's about these children and how these children got misled. What did the parents see in this? That's where the deep.
Not everybody's a good parent.
No, that's true.
I mean, and we got to think about this. I mean, we could go back in history. Molestation has been a problem in not just black families, but families. Period.
Yeah.
And it's always been swept under the rug. I mean, I grew up in a family where it has happened to some people in my family, and I found out later on, like, wow, this really happened, and don't talk about it. It's just it happened.
Don't talk about
That's
it.
it.
Man.
You
That's
hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Girl,
Right.
just
Right.
move on with your life.
Yeah.
You
You
hit the nail on the
happily,
head.
and it's like a story that just goes on and on, like just sweeping under the rug. And so now I feel like this is definitely something that needs to be talked
Absolutely.
about.
Right, you gotta
Absolutely.
clean
And
up
it definitely needs to
closet.
be, more people need to be aware
Right.
that this is actually going on in families, regardless of the color. Because it happens in black, white,
Yes,
Asian. I mean, it's
Hispanic,
happening.
Native
So it happens,
Everybody.
period.
Everybody.
It happens, period. And we talking about children.
It could be your favorite uncle who's molesting your sister or your little cousin.
That's it.
But we don't know because we're men and we like, I thought he was weird, but I didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
What I can say, I think that one thing that you bring it up is it's not, we bring it to light now. And it's very important we bring it to light now because so many things were accepted back then.
Right.
And they're not cool, but it's such when somebody's psyche is taught a certain way.
That's true.
And it's hard to sit up there and try to, wait a minute, and I don't know his intent or her intent, but his psyche has been taught. You know what I'm saying?
It's okay.
It's okay, but a lot of deprogramming needs to be going
There
on
definitely does
to
need to be.
be
So do you believe
programmed.
that he should go to jail?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
That broke
yeah.
ground. I ain't got nothing but.
So back in the day, when everything happened with Aaliyah, right? When everything was going on with Aaliyah and then with the sex tape, so we all knew that R. Kelly liked younger girls, right? So the Surviving R. Kelly documentary really gave us more insight as to what was going on,
Right.
because we thought it was kind of a random girl here, random girl there. We didn't know that he had harems and apartments, on no
Yeah.
list and on tour bus, and
Right.
it really showed us the severity
And
of it all.
I think that any
Right.
entertainer in the industry is guilty of this.
But
So
he
speaking
wow.
of guilty entertainers,
You know what I'm saying?
Well, but not the underage.
Okay.
But will he get help in
but
jail?
Guilty entertainers.
No, jail.
Will he get help in jail?
No, jail is not designed to help you.
Jail is not. He's not gonna need any help in jail.
No,
Putting him in
it's not
jail
designed
is not
to
the
help
it's
you.
not the option really.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we done.
He needs to
We're
get
done with
help.
R. Kelly.
Okay. R. Kelly, go to jail.
But
That's it.
speaking of entertainers
Yeah.
And guilt.
who like and guilt, entertainers who like young girls and guilt. Let's talk about your president.
Oh, let's stay president?
They president.
No, they
I
president.
gotta be out. How you gonna give us the dump? Put him on us like, hey, that's our president.
I don't want him.
I don't want him.
I don't want the Donald. Sorry.
Listen, what is
I
it?
want
Not
it.
it.
Not it. Not it.
Not it.
Yeah.
Don't want the Trump.
So he's y'all's now.
Okay.
So,
What about it?
I know about.
I mean, Donald Trump has proved you can have money and do anything.
That's always been the case.
That's I mean,
So
I mean, Ronald Reagan did it.
exactly. So
Yeah, I said it.
and didn't they run on the same platform? The whole "Make America Great Again" business was not the same.
This is
Um,
the historical conversation that nobody wanted.
I know during the Michael Cohen's testimony, he
hilarious.
spoke.
oh,
He spoke aloud what we've always
the
known.
rabbit sound.
The Smith ran rapid through that one. didn't he?
He told
Stitches, get
everything.
stitches, some up.
He told everything.
Say, this ain't about me. I'm taking the whole CD down.
But we know Brown.
You know, Rob, you gonna see what we got.
I wasn't born with a silly spoon in my mouth.
So one of the things I noticed was, while a lot of the Democrats asked pertinent questions,
Right.
asked pointed questions in relation to the actual investigation, a lot of the Republicans asked questions that were intended to discredit
Yes.
Michael
Yes.
Cohen and to
Exactly.
make him seem like a liar, or
Right.
to
Wow.
prove that
Yeah.
he lied.
Right.
But one of the things I noticed was that at no point did they ask, so you a liar, what did you lie about? Because what he lied about was Donald Trump ain't do nothing wrong. How come they didn't ask that question?
Right. You
How come they
gotta
didn't
protect
ask, oh, you a liar, what did you lie about?
You know you gotta protect the
Perjury.
party.
You gotta protect
perjury.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean that fiasco that somebody rolls out, and y'all. I mean, why? I don't understand. It's politics. Politics. Republicans are not gonna ask that question. It's not.
Why?
He's a Republican. I'm gonna stand on his side. That's what politicians do.
Cover the lie.
Cover the lie. He's the fall guy.
Right.
Yeah, and he was good at covering the lie for a while until the pressure got to him.
Yeah.
Like, you know what?
So
The heat is on.
So what did the guy,
I'ma tell.
what did I hear? The guy says, the point is, Republicans didn't get mad until he stopped lying.
That's true.
Right.
It was all good when he was lying.
I ain't think about
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't think about that either.
I heard that somebody said.
That's
As
true.
a matter of fact, they usually say well, they didn't get mad until he stopped lying.
And now you don't want to lie, so now you want to, okay.
So I mean, again, you just as guilty as holding that water.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now you want to get it. That's all.
But see, he's on the chopping block. Like, he's gonna do his bid now. It's done.
He's already good.
He's
Yeah.
up there for it. The question is, what do they
Nothing.
do now? Like,
That's my question.
That's
Yeah.
like,
And
where
also,
do we go?
not only where do we go from here, but also why, two questions. One, why is it so important to protect the party versus let's do what's right for
For the people.
America?
Yeah.
Right.
And
What that means, Steve?
What
that means?
Say it, brother. Because you have to. America, y'all sometimes have to understand this man is a 1%, part of the 1% of the world. This man is a billionaire. The way of his thinking is never going to be like
Not
the way
just
that we
his
think.
thinking.
Right.
Everybody, like the voters who are voting for him, they are not part of the 1%.
But he's able to say what a lot of people cannot say, and still don't care. Go about
Listen, I
it.
can hurl racist shit all day.
You're not gonna get
You're
elected.
not gonna get a million people
Right.
to vote for
But
you.
It's just not gonna happen. And that's why I think some blacks get mad at Obama because they feel like he ain't do enough for the black race. But again,
He was the president
For the people.
for the American people. So
Yeah,
can all the
for
rest of
everyone.
them be?
it's funny that he got to be.
representative of the
He got to
American
be.
people.
It's funny he got to be the
Right.
president of American
Right.
people.
But Trump gets to be the
He
president for his people.
Right, and say, oh,
I get that.
But
immigration
everybody is
camps.
supposed to be.
I want to build a
Right.
wall.
That's
You know how many people
supposed to
think
be.
about that? You know how many people really think about building a
The
wall?
Great Wall of Racism.
Yeah.
But he has enough money to say it and don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This man is
Obama
calling
had to
tape.
walk that line, but Trump is just stomping all
He
over
don't
it and
care.
zigzagging.
Well,
Well, you
across
gotta
that
understand,
line.
Trump says things that everybody
Just grab him in
wants
the-
to say.
I've never wanted to
Listen,
say any of those things.
that
to
all
one.
of us type
The
of people
majority.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
majority
The
wants to
majority
say.
wants to
Yeah.
say.
I'm not
Keep these
saying that's
messages
right.
out. You think they don't want to say that?
Yeah.
Your coworker can't say that.
Yeah.
Let Obama
Oh,
have
yeah.
said
I
that.
know that's
Right. Let Obama say
He
that.
would be nowhere near that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
He would have been
Exactly.
impeached.
They don't care now.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't attack the system if you didn't create the system.
Right.
That's how I look at it. But
I mean, it's opened up this case is big. It's gonna open up a lot of things going forward for the next election and so on. So I really do feel like history will be changed after this. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
You
So
know,
speaking of the next,
hopefully.
The next
so speaking of
Because, you
the
know,
next,
it's
election-
Real-
oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
But Trump. So how do y'all explain women still voting for Trump
Oh, I can't speak for them.
after
Yeah.
after what he said about women?
I didn't the first time, so I don't know.
Yeah, I never.
I don't know.
How, it goes back to what you said about party voting as opposed to what's good for the American people.
Right.
You know,
How do women do that after he says something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure because I do not belong to that demographic who would vote for a person like that. But I can say what I do what I do recognize is that that there are men voting for him who literally just hate women. That those people exist, right? But they still like sex and they have wives and they have women in their lives. Those dudes are not going home to themselves or to their video game consoles. They're going home to a woman who's going to do what they tell them to do, or who's going to vote according to what he says, or vote according to his beliefs. So whether it's in my best interest, because I sometimes I see some of the things that people vote for, where whether it's rescinding abortion rights, or rescinding, even if not abortion, rescinding access to reproductive health in general. And when I say reproductive health in general, I mean pap smears, which will determine whether or not you have cancer. Or, I mean, there was a vote, I think it was in 2007 or so, where they actually voted that you have to carry a fetus to term whether it's viable or not. You can't carry a dead baby to term. It's never going to make term. But there were women who voted for that. Like, they are.
Yeah, that's cruel.
They vote against their own self-interest, and I think it has a lot to do with who I'm married to, who my daddy is, and some of these people are even like, oh, my religious beliefs, but I'm like, I'm willing to bet Jesus didn't say girl die because your kid did.
And Amanda, you know what? It's interesting what you just said about men hating women. So my question is, would Donald Trump be in office if he was not running against Hillary Clinton?
Probably not.
Right. If he had been running against another white male, right, would he be in the office right now?
I am sure he would not have been.
issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
She had her own
But
issues.
I think
Stemming from her husband.
right, but I kind of think that coming off of President Obama leaving the office, which was a black male, I don't know if America was ready for a woman to lead right after an African American man.
Right.
You know?
It would have been a lot for America.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it's-
talking about women in leadership, I hear a lot of talk about Kamala Harris.
I mean, talk about any woman in that position. I don't think it's going to be.
¿Por qué?
It's not going to be viable. I mean,
yeah.
don't. It's funny. We want to get mad because we want to be bent out of shape. But tell me a woman who's reigning. Sometimes we don't look at the history of of America. The way America's been structured.
Not saying that I'm
the way America's been
behind
structured.
Kamala, but it's
You know what
always
I'm
a new
saying?
day. It could be a woman in the office.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
But when you start
definitely.
breaking down these demographics and you start seeing how certain things are, she's gonna have a long road trying to get
I believe
there.
so.
Yeah.
And then I ain't even that, but when you break it down to political party, well, we got to pick the best candidate for us, for the party.
Right.
And the sacrifice, we cannot be divided. You know what I'm saying? So we got divided when it came to Hillary.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really understand is that putting Hillary out there, in fact, you said it. A lot of men don't want to see a woman in that type of
Why?
position.
You know.
Well, for one
As a
thing,
non-man, I don't understand.
For
the
me
behavior.
personally, I don't like how Hillary just jumped on the bandwagon with black people in the last month of her election process and want to get us on her side.
Throw the black
Don't do
card
that.
out.
You should have been doing that from way back and working on us as a people.
But she couldn't.
so during
her
the-
husband in prison.
Exactly. That's my thing.
It's like, but you know it's coming.
True. I know. So should we accept it?
So question.
Yeah, they're right.
I have a question for you. So, if you didn't believe in Hillary, was there a reason that you didn't vote in the primaries for Bernie Sanders, considering that he has a history since the 60s of supporting black
Supporting
Yes.
and getting
Supporting
things
immigrants.
done.
Well, Hillary won.
and marching and all those things?
Well, Hillary won.
Well,
so
she won because she got enough votes in the primary. Why did people not vote in the primary if they wanted someone
We should
else?
have. We should have.
So let's do that this election. Who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
go.
one thing that I
Show up
regret.
to the
That I
polls.
didn't
Yeah.
push
Show
on
up,
that
show up.
to
The
get
primaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't vote for president. I voted in the election, but I didn't vote for president. I didn't vote for Hillary, and I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't.
For them.
'Cause I didn't believe in either one of the people that were representing the party.
It was the lesser of the two evils.
So that's
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the
That's the
things.
thing. So let's get into that real quick. I'm sorry. But people say you should pick the lesser of two evils. I don't believe if I have you as a candidate and you as a candidate, if I don't believe in either
We
one
should
of
never
you,
vote.
I don't think I should vote. 'Cause you might kill me.
I might kill me, you might imprison me.
I don't think that I should have to vote at all. They gave us the right to vote. They didn't tell us that we had to vote. If I don't like the two candidates, I'm not voting. You don't deserve my vote.
So here's another thing. Here's the thing. I hear a lot of people saying the two candidates. Y'all are aware that you can write in candidates,
Independent.
that there was a libertarian candidate, there have been independent candidates.
Right.
Even during this election, we've got Greens, we've got independents,
Right.
we've got Republicans, Democrats. Shit, I think we even got a wig.
Yeah.
And what's that from the
Libertarian
1300s?
was a lady. She was a lady. It was a libertarian. I should have done more research on her.
So, speaking of women in charge and women,
You talking about me?
women in charge, women in office, women taking care of business.
Right?
I feel a set up.
As well as they should take care of it. As well as they should.
It's gonna get real now.
Let's get really
Let's
real.
talk
Put me
about
up
it.
another
Sorry,
one.
but
Well,
sorry.
let's talk about it. Okay, so what do you think about a woman being head of household? You
Whoa.
being a man and y'all in that household, y'all married. What if
Define head of
know.
household.
Yeah.
what if she's the breadwinner? What if she
That's okay.
is making all of the money?
That's okay.
Okay, so who do you prefer paying the bills? Does that make you feel a little bit
If she making all the money,
insecure or lesser, or what if a woman came in and she wanted you to be the head of household? She wanted you to pay all the
As
bills.
long as the
and
man can take care of himself by himself and the woman can take care of herself by herself, they can combine their money. If she wants to do the business and pay the bills, she can do that. But one mistake that men make, they let a woman lose respect for who they are. And when you lose respect, you lose the power. The relationship goes in disarray.
Explain that, lose respect for who they are, define it.
Because if you come in as a woman and you're paying bills, you're making plans to do this, you're doing all this, and you don't have that man there to take that over, sometimes women are like, what do I have you here for? You don't have a backbone, I don't respect you, I don't need you around. And then they leave the relationship, and a man feels less of a man.
Like, what? There's a problem?
So when a man says, hey, I want to go to Aruba, and you're like, well, I don't want to go to Aruba.
Okay, well, we won't go to a room.
Thank you. I want to buy this TV. You don't make enough money to get that TV. We're not gonna get it. And that's when things just go in total disarray.
So here's when you say head of household, right? Head of household has nothing to do about how much money you make.
Right. Well, I'm just saying.
I
I'm just saying.
I'm saying in my opinion, let me sit that. It has nothing to do about how much money you make. At the end of the day, I do believe when it comes to head of household, it means that if anything, he represents his family. And he stands up for his family in any circumstance that may be. He's going to be the first to sacrifice for everybody in that house at the end of the day. Hold on. When we come to head of household analogy, if you was a police officer, got a gun, somebody broke into that house, if the man said he the head of his house, he going to jump up in front of you even though you have all the training in the world to say, take me first before you take my family. Now, when it comes to money making, sometimes that I can't speak for every man. Yes, some men do abuse or may run a dictatorship, but everything has an order.
right?
Everything has an order. If things are in order, they run smoothly. There's a president, vice president, governing body, right? So again, but we know at the end of the day, this man cannot be who he is if you don't have a team. But see, a man will pick a woman who don't have a degree, who's struggling, and he'll bless her and try to build her up to his standard. Now you got to ask a woman who's making all the rules, wants to be head of household, will she do that for a man?
No, because you a scrub.
No, but some women do.
It is a double
There's some women
standard.
who do. There are
That's a
tons of
But some women do that.
Or do they respect that
Yes,
man?
it is.
Do they respect him?
Go ahead.
Look, you scratching. You scratching. Yeah, that's a different question. Ain't it?
Look, me myself, it's a difference. I mean, I can respect a man if he's being a man. No, no, I can respect him if he's being a man, regardless of how much money he makes. Regardless if I am making more money than him, if he's being the man, if he's doing what he's supposed to do, I can respect that.
So now, the funny thing that a lot of women say, well, if he being a man, what is
being a man?
Okay, can I?
In a woman's perspective, what is being a man?
So I'm gonna go and while
They're all
everyone,
tuned in now.
so while every I understand that we may not all have the same religious beliefs or faiths or whatever, and I understand that our audience may not have the same faith.
Right.
But so my understanding of what a man is comes from the Bible, right?
Right.
So I forget exactly which scripture, but it is, wives, submit to your husbands. And the very next sentence is, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church.
Exactly.
Christ guided the church. Christ loved the church. He provided for his bridegroom. He cared for his bridegroom. He led his bridegroom down the appropriate path and toward righteousness. So, being a man, you are going to support this family, whether it is financially or being a pillar, being the structure of the family, being the appropriate guidance. You can't be my man trying to raise a family with me and you're coked out playing FIFA whatever, or what is the game people like at Madden?
Alive.
Playing Madden and the shooting game on your sitting on your ass, not working, not raising. One moment, not raising the kids, not teaching them shit. That to me is not a man. Just because you have a Y chromosome and a bassy voice, or you grow a decent beard, it's nice. But
Oh, is that a shot? No shade.
Coming from a man, and
That's a compliment.
because I don't like nobody. But you know what I mean. But all of those things that it takes to actually be the man, and it's not about bravado. It's not about, oh yeah, I fight or I argue or I'm aggressive. No, it's about literally I guide my family appropriately, and if I don't have a family, I govern myself appropriately as if I know what I'm supposed to be doing in life.
But you do know that men will take a woman if she has nothing.
Which is fine because
Take her as a wife, and continue to do that as long as she's trying. Flip the script.
No, it's the same way. You can't flip the script and it's the
Right?
same.
Some women stand by a man who's been through trials and tribulations.
How long?
Some men are like the
Can
black
that man
queen.
decide where to go
Bring
to
a
eat?
woman down.
listen, Melania Trump is still married.
Bring a woman down. Like,
Still married.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, if I could interject,
I'm so can I give one more example? What's her face? Mary J. Blige and Kendu. She took great care of that motherfucker. Great
And his
care of
family.
him. And his family.
kids.
And paid his child support.
We don't.
I'm sorry, continue.
Financially.
so
But still, he's a man.
Financially.
And she supported it. She gave him a job.
we don't know
what he gave her.
that household. We don't
Right.
know.
We don't know what he gave her.
Illegitimate children and a
She
headache.
could have been like, man, you don't take care of nothing. You don't take care of your kids, but I'll pay you.
right for
But
me,
she was working
She
on
could
so
be giving
Steve,
the
I
blues
agree with
behind
you.
those.
I
I'm
agree
sorry,
that
right?
head of household has nothing to do with income, right?
Right.
So
Something
I
to
feel
do.
like as a woman, if a man is going to be my head of household, I have to trust this man to be able to lead me. This man is
Right.
supposed to
Right. I agree
lead
with
me.
that.
If I cannot trust that he is going to lead me in the right direction, he cannot be the head of my household, right? And so when it comes to money, if we are, because these days, most days, it takes 2 incomes to run a household.
Right.
The world's expensive, right?
Right,
So, okay, so we're both working, we're putting our money in this household. If your focus is on going out every weekend, hanging with your homeboys to all times of night and stuff like that, for one, you're messing with the money in our household.
Right.
And for 2, I cannot trust that you are doing the right thing for me, our children, or whatever the dynamic of our family is.
Did you accidentally summon me?
So it has
Lord.
nothing. No, Sarah, you don't don't need your help for this.
God said you got a woman boy.
Siri trying to be the head of household. She was like, what?
Right.
You need a
You're
man in your
exactly
life.
right. But I also think that I mean, it's a questioning of the man that it becomes rapid, right? Women are starting to get positions, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But understand that the point is, you had a position outside of our kingdom, outside of our home.
Right.
You know, now if you want to understand, when you come home, you still have a role to play. People don't like the roles, but there's roles in this.
Yeah.
Again, people don't want to accept their role. Now, people want the Michelle Obama, right? They want the Michelle Obama. She bad, right?
Yes, right.
But you don't know the shit that she got to understand at the end of the day, that she got to take to be that queen that she is at the end of the day, because she had to put her man in front of her. All the scrutiny he took, everything is about him. She took that.
Yeah.
Smile with it. But that's a team.
Yeah.
We want the glory, but don't want to do the work behind it.
So let's
Yes,
talk.
brother.
So using the Michelle and Barack example,
Right.
he also didn't embarrass her. He wasn't on no fuck shit. He wasn't lazy. He didn't abandon his children.
Without a doubt.
He was a man.
He was the perfect.
So-
Because if he had, we would have heard about it.
No, no, no.
Exactly. That's for sure.
So one of the
They was
things.
pulling up anything they could.
Right,
One of the,
exactly.
one of the
Exactly.
things I see often when I talk to some other people about the woman being submissive, right, or the woman being, and again I'm using the biblical
Right.
position, but you also have to be a man worth submitting to. If I trust you,
Yeah,
so
I
I
understand.
served at one point. I was in the military,
Mhm.
and in having leaders, I have had leaders where if you don't give me any other instruction except go in that building, I will go in that building because I trust you with everything inside of me.
Right.
And then there are some people that'll say, you need to go pee. And I'll be like, oh no, I'm gonna hold it because I don't know what the fuck you got planned.
Right.
So if you are a man that you can say, go into that burning building and I'll go,
Right.
you can be my man. Listen, I don't care. You can lead me wherever you want.
Right.
If you are a
Trust
good
has-
leader,
tr-
you can lead me
trust is
anywhere you want to
Trust
go,
is
and I
given
will follow
and
you
trust
like
is
a
earned.
puppy.
But also understand that also trust is
But
going
let you fuck up.
to be broken.
It will be tested.
But a man will allow you
Trust,
to fuck.
faith, love, all of that.
They will.
I'm talking about over a lifetime. Again, we only see Obama's life in front of the camera.
Right.
You will understand that you're going through trials and tribulations behind this camera. We can just only imagine to be the first black president of the scrutiny of this, the stress in itself. And again, as I'm going to believe, he did his time. Now who shines the most out of all that? His queen that was to the right of him. Just more again.
Yeah.
Because she played her
Everybody
part.
trying to get her
Right,
vote.
you're right.
She played her part.
And she
Now-
was there.
Right, so
She
now
stood
we
right
talk about
there.
another powerful black woman, and that's Oprah Winfrey. What example has she really given you as a woman? She's not married. She has no children.
Is that all it takes to be?
No, but I'm saying, if you, again,
She got money.
It's not
Oprah is
just
the
money.
spokesperson for a strong black woman.
She has
Independence.
She has overcome
That's the
her
spokesman.
tragic fucking
and
childhood.
she ain't the only
She
woman.
has-
Right.
Neither
It's
is
funny how
Michelle
she made it
Obama
that
the
she-
only one who
But
has
she's,
followed her man.
but I'm saying when
and
it comes
been
to
respectful and-
completeness of something at the end of the day, all we know is Stedman.
That's it.
What is that? Again,
I think I see
I
what
guess
you're
you see what I'm going with it?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Where?
not. It's very uncommon to see the Obamas nowadays. You don't see the.
You see the Cliff Huxtable.
Yeah, you see the Cliff. You don't see that no
You
more.
don't see that? Yeah, you talking about
Independence.
family.
Well, he
You
in
see-
jail. So.
Well, no, Bill Cosby's in jail. Cliff Huxtable.
Not Cliff Huxtable, right.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Clear
saying?
that up, brother.
But you know what I'm saying? Like Cliff
Huxtable was a bad man.
I have no problem. I think what Oprah's done in her lifetime is truly amazing for a black woman. You know,
For a person in general.
for a black woman. I'm not saying with a person in general. I'm saying in my perspective, for a black woman to do and own and what she's done in this world, not only has she had to go against race, now she has to go against what? Gender. You know what I'm saying? To be where she's at, to be a first black billionaire.
Yes. Because where
So
she
you can't
came
be-
from, the system was set up for her to fail.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right. I mean,
Yes. I'm not.
ain't too many come out of Mississippi. Like that.
Especially Mississippi.
And I think she's a great example. When I compare her to Michelle and all, they do great, but they did it differently too as well.
Yeah.
They did it differently too as well.
I feel like literally no disrespect to Michelle Obama because she is
Right.
the baddest. Okay, but huh? No, not to disrespect, but I feel that
You can always talk to me.
We don't want
Siri,
to talk to you.
I want to talk to you, Siri.
Siri, we don't want to talk to you.
Really about that life. She like, look.
Get mad over here, Siri.
Right.
So, but no, so no disrespect to Michelle Obama at all, but I don't believe that her accomplishments are, that they outweigh Oprah's accomplishments. Not to diminish them at all.
You're exactly right.
But I also don't believe that her accomplishments diminish Oprah's accomplishments.
Not at all.
I
not at all.
believe that her overall impact, that Oprah's overall impact has been massive, has been further reaching, I think, and in terms of like building up lives. For example, her school in South Africa, literally you are changing the human lives of people in real time. I think that's a big deal. Like, parenthood is great. It's lovely. You know, the Obamas have these
Right.
two beautiful, successful, wonderful children. While Oprah didn't give birth to children, she has built up and helped with the achievement of numerous children. I don't think one outweighs the other, just because one has a marriage.
I think at the end of the day, it has a family. And I think
Right.
that family will outweigh any one single person's accomplishment when you're talking about giving to the black community, because at the end of the day, what is broken in the black community
Is the family.
and again, it dates back to the very beginning, how you remove the man from the home and you empower the woman in the home. And again, you tend to look down on the man that's outside. He got to work his 10 times as hard, but
You don't need
but
the
we
black
know
man
we
to be
got to.
successful.
It's not about being success. It's just at the end of the day, it's how we're manipulated to see certain things put in our
Right,
face.
right.
And again, I'm glad you read because you go deep into it. And I think a lot of people need to see the undertone, not just what's put in our face. I respect Michelle at the end of the day because she stood by her man. Now her man sits back. Now she's on book
Yeah,
tours.
sitting back.
She, you know what I'm saying?
She's killing.
And again,
She's
she did it from a point where she didn't have to say much. Like, ooh, look at that girl, tough. She the one stylish and everything, and she's very. I mean, she's again, she's the first lady. Again, she's royalty.
So Michelle and Oprah are both giants in their own right, right? So yeah, Oprah. I know that Oprah had to go through some trials and tribulations. We know about her childhood, her being molested, and like I said,
And
at
her
that
struggle
time,
to make it in her career
Right.
as a
Right, yeah,
black
this
because like
is
I said,
black
it
media,
was set up
media,
for her to
period.
fail.
Yeah, exactly.
But I definitely don't want to take anything away from her because she is not a wife and a
That's
mother.
it.
Right.
Right.
I mean, we can't take away from her womanhood because a child and a husband
you're
does
right.
not make someone a
I don't know if she can even bear
True.
children. I don't
Right.
know that.
Whether she can or
Nah,
can't.
None of our
Right.
business.
Right, whether she
Right,
can or
right.
can't, that child does not make her a woman. She was born with woman in her DNA. She is a
Well, she
woman.
can become that next week, and what are we gonna say then?
Exactly.
So
Right.
I don't
She's
agree.
still accomplished her entire.
No, without
she's still
a doubt.
very
Yeah.
accomplished
Right.
and wonderful.
Right.
Whether
So,
she has
when I
children
look at it
or
again,
not.
it goes to somebody's opinion on what impacts them, and what empowers them. At the end of the day, I think that again, I think Oprah is a movement. Again, I do have certain things because she didn't believe in certain things, as in hip hop, certain things. It took Jay-Z years to get to a certain point where he could be recognized by
Recognized by
Oprah.
her.
Jay-Z
Well,
is pretty bomb ass.
Well, look,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
He's bomb.
She had some points in that when it came to hip hop. Okay.
No, again,
She had some points.
She had some
He
points.
did. Or she
I'm not
did.
saying that she took Jay-Z and said, Jay-Z, you're not worth nothing. Jay-Z took what he had and he became who he was.
But I shouldn't
and
have to
was
prove that.
fine.
I was doing this again. don't. Everybody come from a different background.
Right.
We can't punish the person who comes from a different
We're not
background.
going to punish him.
punishing.
But what happens
But I'm saying,
is
but
that,
he has to reach a certain plateau. But he's been at this plateau for years.
well, I
Yeah,
fought
but the
Oprah
same
for
was
doing-
true for her before she got the recognition she deserved. She has been badass Oprah since her first show.
But it wasn't a black
But
man
she
that-
wasn't
that
recognized until she was badass, rich ass billionaire
amongst
Oprah.
others.
But I fault
Nobody
I
said
fault her
Oprah not that
for not
bad.
getting
Right.
to know.
They gave her an accolade.
They
That's
get
it.
to know,
They
get to
gave
know
her
Jay-Z as a
accolades.
person
As a
first.
person
As a
first.
person, then you can say what you can say about him. But don't just make a blanket statement about him just because he's a rapper.
My blanket
But
statement
she put
is
rappers
Jay-Z
in the
is
basket.
fucking bad.
But
He
with
bad.
that being said, Jay-Z back in the day or rappers that are going on right now, sometimes they get to children and they put children in the wrong direction.
That's
Yeah.
true.
As a rap industry in general. So
I
Oprah
think
saw
so.
that as that and was like, I don't know. And then she
Yes, she.
talked to him. And
But
then
she understand who's actually producing her shows. And then, well, we can't have him on here because she had a mission and she played the game without a doubt.
Right.
We can't speak for her.
Yeah.
All right, I'm saying. I
can't
mean,
speak for her.
I'm saying she played the game. I mean, it's funny that how Donahue can have Louis Farrakhan on his show live in the midst of like.
She had Klansmen on her show. She had radical racial people on her show too.
Right, you're right.
She just had a belief about rap. And, you know, she had to get to know Jay-Z. Jay-Z's a great man. He's done a lot of great things. He's transitioned his life from what it was to what it is now. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
Okay.
But don't say that this rap industry is not messing with these kids' minds. Because it is.
I mean, everything's messing with these kids' mind. You can't just, and I can say that because I come from that industry. You can't just put it on hip hop.
No, I don't think
I
we
mean,
do that, but I
you
think it's
know.
an addition too.
Yeah, it's definitely
Your
a addition.
environment,
But
everything that's around you, and rap. Because I know
Right.
my little girl, I got a parent against that right now with her.
right, but it also
Right.
has to go back to the parents. Because I raised my daughter to. I grew up listening to Tupac, NWA,
Right.
and Lord knows what else my mama let me listen to.
Right. Tupac
True enough, I
was
shouldn't have been
also
listening to it at a certain
Exactly.
age,
Tupac
but
beat
she always
it.
educated me like, hey, this is
Exactly.
art, this is entertainment,
It's
this is
entertainment. Know
just
the
for-
difference.
Know the difference. You can't go out here and live this lifestyle that these people are talking
Some
about.
people don't have you,
I'm just
And-
and they don't have me,
Right.
and they're raised on the music. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna interrupt for 1 second to make sure that everyone is aware that Tupac is everything and has always
Look,
been
I don't want to
everything.
get on
Without a
Tupac.
doubt.
Deep
Y'all-
brain is not up for debate.
Yeah,
Sorry.
without a
Not up
doubt.
for debate.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
y'all rolling with Jussie Smollett then?
whoa, where did that come from?
I said the original.
No, time out.
We like both.
Like, don't
like one.
disrespect Tupac like that.
No, don't disrespect.
Disrespect the
No,
God.
no.
We didn't disrespect Pac.
No.
We did go.
Jesse had a bad idea.
Bad
It
idea.
was totally wrong.
Like what?
Nobody eats Subway at 3 in the morning.
Three.
But how you get 16 charges, get your own ass whooped?
On that.
You set your own ass whooping up, and you got charged 16.
16
It
years.
happened at
$16.
very much.
And you hired some black ass Nigerian.
Exactly.
For some gym work.
He needs to look at his immediate circle and fire everybody. All y'all get out of the office.
Everybody.
Everybody, y'all go good.